than our usual charging cable, then it cannot be connected directly. If we want to use a normal computer, if the standard USB 2.030 interface is connected to the mobile phone, we can buy an adapter cable like this. The USB turntable is not matched. Then use this fast charging cable brought by this machine. Just connect the cable with C ports to the computer. It can solve the problem of connecting us to ordinary computers. If the Apple machine could come with a cable like this, then it's more perfect, but there are no earphones, nor is there a charger, then the transfer interface is naturally not available. Then connect it first and take a look at this machine. Machine, we can see the battery is 0 times. If the battery is 0 times, then prove that the machine is brand new, it has not been used. Then the capacity is naturally 100%. We can see only one usage for 3 days. The machine activated on Saturday, and last Saturday should be. So this is a quasi-new machine. So today expand this machine to 512 machines. The machine of 15 Pro is different from the machine of 14. The machine of 14 is dismantled from the back. The 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are detached from the front, then you still need to heat it up first. The machine has been heated up. Pro is easier to dismantle. Compared to 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Pro is relatively easy to dismantle. The LCD screen cable of the 15 Pro is below. When we dismantled the main board, don't pull too hard. In this case, it is easy to pull the cable off. In other words, we can see where his design doesn't make sense. The LCD soldier cable here has an S-shaped bend. In other words, the LCD soldier line here is too long, then maybe forward is easier to install when installing. But we must put this back. When we put it back, a bend is placed inside the gap here. If you put it on this side, it may press the cable. It may break in the long run. We can see if it is installed. This is just to the edge of the groove here. If it is too inward, press it here above the cable. So long-term use, then it will cause the breakage of the LCD screen cable. If it breaks, then it will cause displayed exception. In that case, then it may cause an unnecessary failure. The official statement of the machine of the 15 Pro also has a statement: the machine is prone to heat up, main board overheating. Then we see what's the difference between his main board and the forgotten main board. There are no stickers on it at all. There are no heat dissipation stickers below. We know something like 14, 13. On his main board all have thick heat dissipation stickers. This is a sticker for 14 Pro Max. In terms of thickness, it is very thick. Under the entire main board. In this case, it will benefit our heat dissipation. Then between the main board and the frame, there will also be some connection between the main board and the frame. In that case, will heat our main board better, but the 15 Pro machine, its entire main board is suspended above it. That is to say, the whole main board is not close to the lower part metal frame. Then the heat dissipation of the metal frame, then it will be much lower. Just rely on the inside of the movement. A heat dissipation from the main board itself, then its heat dissipation effect will not be very good. It can also cause the main board to overheat. So how can this situation be improved? Then only increase a fit between the main board and the lower part, in this case, to increase one of his heat dissipation. But we see the cable here, more lenient, again affects the heat dissipation at the bottom, so the heat dissipation effect of food-grade blood is not very good. Then we can improve it later, add some cooling measures to the main board. Put some heat dissipation stickers on our previous machines. If it is pasted something like across Pro such a thick heat dissipation sticker, then when assembling on the main board, he'll come out, then it will flatten. It's going to be more contradictory at this point than the heat dissipation and the thickness of the machine, then it presents a relative state, or increase the thickness of the machine, or don't use heat dissipation stickers. Do not use heat dissipation stickers, then it results in it is a problem that he usually uses the temperature too high. Then 15 Pro is so expanded it is used to polish rather than dismantle. Because the 15 Pro has a power supply under its hard disk. There is a power supply in this area, there is a CPU in this part. All the Apple machines are on top. If the main board is relatively thin, if there is a power supply or CPU under the hard disk. We do not recommend directly using an air gun to dismantle it. Why can the 15 series be? Because the 15 series hard drives only have NFC under them. And photographic power EQ chips with no glue or very little glue, they don't explode easily, but the power supply and CPU all Apple models are fully glued, so when we heat the main board then it may cause power supply or CPU sweats or pop suction, then it will cause an instability. Then we suggest that as long as it is like an Apple. If there is a CB under the hard drive or a main board, we all recommend sanding. There is no risk if you polish it, because we used it when we installed it. About 200 degrees of suction then after installation. Then for high temperature suction welding, it has no effect on power supply and CP. There is no repair. So our maintenance focus is to ensure the quality of machinery, not speed. Like the 15 Pro Max, we recommend sanding it. Then 15 and 15 Plus can also be polished. But if it is dismantled, be sure to control its temperature. Okay, so let's polish this machine first. After polishing, then just install the hard disk directly. Good machine, we have polished it and dealt with the pads. We installed a 512 hard drive on him. 15 series 512 hard drives and 14 series 512 hard drives, so they are the same kind of hard drive, it's just that the underlying data is different. Let's get an empty hard drive, then you can pack 14 or 15. But if it is packed with 14 or 15. We have flushed the machine. Or the hard disk has been formatted, then it can't be used universally. It needs to be re-entered before it can be used. Okay, the machine has been flashed, let's activate it. Here we can see that the production date is unknown, because it is a newly activated machine, it cannot be queried yet. Then we can check his serial number, let's check it out, this machine's activation date. We can see that the first activation date was December 23, 2023. Then it was activated the day before yesterday. It was activated on Saturday. Let's take a look at the 512G of this machine. Machine expansion, so it's a pretty simple process, then all models are the same. Remove the original hard drive, then install the new hard drive. 12 or more machines, the underlying data of the hard disk does not need to be backed up because it survives the encryption by itself in the process of flashing the machine. Then the machine before 12, we need to put the bottom layer of the hard drive back up to the computer first, then take a new plate and bake it in and brush it. Then those above 12 are relatively simple. Just take the empty drive and install it on our main board, just swipe the machine. Then some friends say that after the expansion, it will not be considered is it a major repair machine. It depends on personal understanding, it doesn't really count. In fact, we didn't layer the whole main board, no other repairs were carried out, just replace the hard drive, especially polishing him is completely risk-free. The main board has not been exposed to high temperature, then his highest temperature is 290 degrees. 290 degrees, then these high temperatures of the machine there will be no melting or sweating. So you can use it with confidence, but if we dismantle it then it is also possible there will be problems with some machines, but as long as you control the temperature usually no problem. Because if you dismantle it, especially non-layered machines, because his middle frame has a relatively large heat dissipation, the temperature needs to be relatively high when we dismantle it, more than 300 degrees, so there may be sweating, but if the temperature is controlled to its critical point, generally no problem. We still recommend minimizing polish as much as possible if you can, especially on the back of the hard drive if there is a CPU or power supply. We've talked about this before, because of the silver angle of the hard disk, it is relatively large. Because the silver angle of the CPU and the silver angle of the power supply are relatively small, then if the silver corner of the hard drive melts, then the small silver corner on the back is easier to melt. So it's prone to sweating. Therefore, we suggest that grinding is a relatively stable method. Then install it. Then we need to put the original machine. Remove the waterproof glue again, then replace it with a new waterproof glue. Waterproof glue, as long as this circle of waterproof glue does not break, then there will be no place for water to enter. We can install it directly after cleaning it up. Okay, so this machine has a capacity of 512. Then there is such a process. It is the same for all machines. In addition to the expansion of the machine, it just increases the storage capacity of the machine, not a noticeable increase in speed. So some old machine customers will try their best to ask, will the expansion increase the speed of the machine? So the answer is no. The decision to increase the positive speed lies in the CPU, and cache is generally no problem, mainly CPU. If the CPU is fast, the machine will become fast. Okay, so today this Real Pro, then let's replace it with waterproof glue later, then just pack it. Then there are friends who need to be controlled. You can contact us. Today's video is not recorded here. Friends in need can continue to follow us.